Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another one of our interviews within the series of chats that we're doing. Sharing the screen with me right now, sitting to my left, is Merl Lawless. How you doing, sir? How are you, Merl? Did I lose
Good.
you?
Yeah, just for a moment.
Okay. When I reached out to you, you said that the timing was perfect because you just started to wrap up your season. Introduce to everybody what you meant by your season. What does your season entail?
Well, I actually have a display for you. We decided this year when we did our events that we would create a poker chip for each of the events we do, just kind of as a collector's item. And it really took off. The athletes love collecting them, and some went to several games. And the display that I put together, uh, this display represents the whole season. So I ended up doing 17 games this year, and when I look at this display, it really reminds me of all the work that we did. Each of the
Wow,
events were successful, and
that's a beautiful board.
it was a
Um,
lot of fun putting together.
for the people that don't know, obviously that's an ancient athletics board, and that's your nonprofit that you have. Tell us about the origination of ancient athletics.
Ancient Athletics was put together as part of the St. Andrews Society of Central Illinois. They've been in existence for, I don't know, 30 years. Well, maybe not that many. But Bill Rogers was kind of the founder of the society and of Ancient Athletics. His son, Kevin Rogers, I'm sure you all are familiar with, uh, was the AD for several years. He was also the director of the World Masters Championships. He turned it over to me probably 25, 4 years ago. And Ancient Athletics has been growing ever since. It's a unit of the St. Andrews Society of Central Illinois, and that's a real advantage to us being parented by an organization like that.
Man, that is such a great organization. I was really impressed with your board there. Hold it up again. I want to talk about the medals that kind of go around that, or the chips that you called it kind of go around that. Those are for each of the events that you hosted this year.
Yes, all over Central states, pretty much. We were in Arkansas, and we've been in Michigan twice, and Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois. So it's keeps us busy, but uh, this was an idea that worked out really well. I heard a couple guys saying we're going to have to go to Michigan just so we can get our poker chips.
Whatever it takes, man. That is really cool. I like that a lot.
Well, and
So
Danny Webster is he's producing poker chips for his events also. So it's kind of a neat idea. If several ads were to take this on, they cost about $1 a piece, and it is something collectible. And we create displays for the athletes if they want them, and uh, it just reminds us all of what we did.
absolutely, man. Um, so you personally, you attended all of those events this year?
Yes, I was the AD for uh, 16 events this year, maybe 17 and 16 last year, and
Wow,
14 the year before. So I've had a busy time.
no kidding. So the people that aren't completely familiar with what an athletic director, an AD, might do, what exactly does that encompass your role as when you're in an event?
Well, the AD's role is to create an event that's first of all safe for the competitors. They want it to be very competitive. The equipment's got to be in really good shape, but the AD is there to create an environment where the athletes can, they can thrive, they can have a good time, they can do better, they can get PRs, and along with the AD, right beside them are the judges and the registration staff. And we have a board, since we're part of the St. Andrews Society, with 5 very talented people on our board. And So it's a big team effort, but the AD is kind of the leader in producing the event.
Now you mentioned the judges. I know that y'all or your group, Ancient Athletics, has conducted a lot of judge training.
Yes, I was very proud of that. Last year we put together well over 100 slides. We had a seminar in a hotel meeting room, big display, PowerPoint kind of presentation. We had over 20 judges there, and we discussed the Highland Games and all the ins and outs for over 5 hours. I was real happy that there was so much participation. All I had to do was say, we're in the safety part of it. Everybody's got a story. Let's tell me your story, and then we'll find out as a group what we could have done to make that better. So it really was a good meeting.
And these judges were from not just your district, but all over the country.
Well, it was mainly just in Illinois,
Okay.
Indiana, St. Louis, but we were talking about expanding it, and the Masters World Championships the director there would like me to put together a judges seminar just for the World Games, because it's really important to have everybody on the same page. That's the reason we did it.
Yeah, I think that is something you're really on track with. I think that is a great idea, especially with all the different variations of judging and techniques and rule books that we might be following at any given time. So
they're also asking me if I can help put together a rule book that's just for the World Championships. I mean, that way, because there's so many different ways to interpret the rules, but if you give everybody, the athletes and the judges, well in advance, what the rules and regulations are, everybody will do better. Less stress.
Indeed. Yeah, get everybody on the same page. That's imagine that.
Yeah.
How long? I know now you said you've been involved with Ancient Athletics for 20 plus years. Now you were a competitor before that, right?
I was, and I really wish that I was still competing. At some point in those 24 years, it was more important to run the games than it was to compete. And any AD knows it's really hard to throw at your own games. So
yes.
At some point, I stopped throwing and was totally committed to be the athletic director.
Now it's my understanding you were quite the athlete. I mean you had a 30-foot sheaf. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I had my day, and
Yeah.
I hit 32 several times in practice, but at the time that was, I think it was the world record was close to there, and I'd hit it in practice, but never in the games. But
Right.
it's my favorite event.
Love it. And in the gym, you're no stranger to the gym. When I coordinated with you this evening, you were in the gym. But you're quite the lifter too. I mean, you were pretty serious bench press, if I remember.
Well, you got a good memory. They say the older I get, the better I was.
Yeah, I understand that.
But I did a couple of things I'm proud of. There's something called a 100-rep challenge. So 315, that's a good amount to lift. But if you do it 100 times in an hour, that's really an accomplishment. And I did that twice.
Wow.
But it was just a challenge. I took it on and worked at it, and that's one feather in my cap, I guess.
That's impressive. Wow. So what prior to the games? I mean, I know the Highland Games has been a part of your life for God, so many years. What's your actual background? What did you used to do back in the day?
Well, I've only had one job my whole lifetime, and I had it for 40 years. And it was a very interesting job, and happens to parallel with the Highland Games. It's doing events and trade shows all over the country, and a convention services contractor that I've just been with forever. Love that company, XL Decorators. But prior to that, I did some track and field and discus and shot put and and played a lot of football and wrestling, all those common things. They're all good for keeping you healthy and keeping you moving. So when I had a chance to get into the Highland Games, I jumped at it because you don't compete your whole life. A lot of people after high school is done, but this industry can let you go until you can't go anymore, which is one.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. And you did that as you worked for another company, or you did that as an individual contractor? Tell me what you said again.
I worked for a kind of a small company that we did some pretty big things, uh, hundreds of trade shows in my career at 40 years. So I probably did attended
So
and helped organize, more than 1,500 trade shows, but they parallel with the Highland Games.
yeah,
You plan them, you set them up, you take them down, and you organize them and evaluate them. And so it was easy transition for me.
and speaking of organizing, I mean, I've seen your trailer, and I've seen what you do behind the scenes, and you were like the benchmark for getting these games going and running and keeping them running smooth. I mean, you have it down to a T. And
Well,
go ahead.
it's just an extension of what I did, for 40 years with the convention business, and it's very satisfying to use your experiences and organizational skills, and it's just it just kind of falls into place. But I'm so proud of my crew. They are really into the organized part of it and the planning part of it. And every AD, you can overwork yourself, but when you have interesting people that will take on the reins and go with them, that I think that's the key to a successful club.
Well, tell me about your people. I mean, how many people we talking? We talking three? We talking 50? What do we got?
I think there's five of us. Most are athletes. Adam Jeffries, Dan White, Charlie Kahar, Chris Nickel, and Andrea Ertmode is our newest member. But they're all athletes and they love the games. They're even talking tonight about their meeting tomorrow with the St. Andrews Society. So the social media has really helped us stay together. So I'm in Mississippi, they're in Illinois, but we talk regularly, almost every day.
Wow. Do you travel together? Or I mean, do you meet up at the events? Are people, they volunteer to say, hey, I'll take this tournament, I'll take this event?
It's pretty much the same. I usually am the athletic director, but our whole crew gets together and we do travel together. We have a bus we call the Rover, which pulls the trailer. It's a 15-passenger van, and we like to travel in it. We can't always travel together in it, but the group, they're just a lot of fun to be together, and they're so dedicated that it's wonderful. We do not so much all games. We do a lot of demonstrations as well, and we have a format called the Battle of the Clans for an event that has very few athletes or very little space. And it's really popular among our regular athletes. We divide up into two clans. Each member competes against another member. If you and I were competing together and you beat me in the stone, you'd get a flag for your clan. If I beat you in the sheaf, then I'd get a flag for mine. And at the end of the day, the clan with the most flags wins bragging rights. But the crowd likes it. They understand it. And we make a big deal about, each time we present a flag. But those are included in the number of events that we do. And they're very successful.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. I would love to see that sometime. That is great. Mhm. Well, when does your season start for 24? You're part of the country. I mean, is it a little bit slower because of the weather?
It is. And normally my personal season would start with the Arnold. I've had the opportunity and honor to be part of that from the very start. Uh, the convention and trade show business, I told you I was part of. That's where I got to know the Arnold convention because my company actually produced the event. And when I was introduced to Arnold's management as a Highland Games thrower, they said we'd love to have the games at the Arnold, and I helped them put them together. So I had a stake in that event. But this year, after I think it's been going, I don't know how many years. I've been to every one, but this year the athletic portion's been canceled. So our March starting to the season is now going to be April.
I heard about that, the cancellation. I hope you're able to pull that back together again, because that was a real shame. It was quite the feather in the cap to be doing something like that there, you know?
Yeah, if they were to contact me and ask me to put something together, I certainly would. And because I think it's a very valuable event for our industry. You know, you don't get much more legitimization out of a sport like ours when it's on the Arnold's floor.
It's such a high profile place to be. Yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing.
I'm really happy that we pulled it off for all those years.
It's a really impressive thing. It is. Merl, I don't want to continue to eat up your evening. I know you probably got big party plans to get started on. So, man, I can't thank you enough. It's on your insights and everything that you do for the Highland Games community. Like I said, you're a benchmark organization, and we could all strive to do things at your level, and it's truly appreciated. And I hope this interview will bring to light a lot of the hard work and dedication it takes to bring these things together at the level that you do.
Well, thank you for putting together this. It's an honor to be part of it, and I appreciate all the work that you put in. And congratulations on your achievement this year in the World Masters Championships.
Thank you, sir.
And let us know if we can help you in any other way.
We'll be in touch, man. We'll be talking. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.